Ladies and gentlemen, we have an absolute clash of the titans. Standing 6'3" tall, weighing in at an even 165 pounds. He's amassed over 7 million subscribers. Arizona's finest. That was epic versus a man who's known for his beasting skills. Weighing in at an even 180 pounds, standing 5'11" tall, he's amassed over 1.2 million subscribers. How to Beast! I'm gonna come to the conclusion at the end of the video who has better game between the two, and I'm also gonna break down both their strategies and tell you why certain things that they say or do works, and I'm also gonna tell you what to avoid doing in these interactions that they did, mistakes that they made. I'm gonna go through it all, both pros and cons of their approach. That Was Epic is up first. This video has 36 million views. The title of the video is, Hey, I Like You Too.
Hey, what's up? There's nothing I would want more than to sit exactly right here, next to you. Yeah, can I sit down?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you. What's your name?
Bianca.
Hi, Bianca. That's a pretty name. My name's Juan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I like you.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
forward.
I know. That's why. Whoa, careful here. Yeah, I like you. That's how I like to roll. I just like to be forward and get straight to the point. I mean, I don't know you, but I'd like to get to know you.
Right.
So,
are you asking me for something, or are you just telling me that?
no, I'm gonna work my way up to Don't rush me. Don't rush me.
My
Gosh,
bad,
come on. You know how this works.
My bad.
You're a pretty girl. You get hit on all the time, I'm sure. What?
Just
Get
so
outta
you
here.
know, though, my friend is like right there coming, so just don't feel awkward when she
What
shows
friend?
up.
No worries. No worries. So, do you want to hang out sometime?
That depends on when, I guess, right?
When you're free.
I don't know. As soon as the first week of school. Hi, babe.
I'll tell you what. So I don't invade, you guys' privacy. Just give me your number,
Okay.
Bianca, and I will send you a text. Yes. Okay, what is it?
602.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up to me and he goes, I like you. And I was like, you don't even know me. Like,
Well, I don't have to know you. I like your physical appearance, I guess. I guess that's what I'm saying.
For something, because he was like, I like you. And he was like, don't rush me. That's where I was like, oh, okay.
That's so
I
funny.
was like, oh, this might be a potential husband. That's literally
Oh, you know what? We are probably gonna get
flattered?
married.
Maybe
Oh
I'm
yeah,
flattered.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think we're a good match?
Huh?
Do you think we look like? Do we look good together?
In a movie.
In a movie.
Yeah.
This looks like a movie.
Yeah.
Holy crap! We're a movie. We're a real life living
You're
movie.
cute, so I was like,
That's crazy. That's so
I'll give him
crazy.
my phone number, but you just like freaked me out when you came over. I was
No,
like,
I didn't
oh
mean
my
to freak you out.
God. And then he was like, I'm sure based on you, and I was like, nobody talks to me.
That's kind of hard to believe, actually, that people don't talk to you. Maybe you send off that resting bitch face that's like, don't talk to me. Nope. So
Words out of my mouth.
the only guys that are gonna get through to you then are the ones that are kind of pushy,
Wow. He knows me so well already. We might be getting married.
Oh yeah, I think we're soulmates.
So let's start off with the positives of this approach, okay? So he's being extremely direct, right? He's going up. He's confident, right? It's a confident approach. Being able to just, go up and tell somebody that you like them, sit down and actually get the number, right? He got the number. One of the best things of this approach is that he told her, just give me your number, right? As opposed to, can I please have your number? I either say, here, let me get your number, or I give her my phone and I say, here, put your number in, right? I tell her as opposed to ask. And I like how he's done that here. And I love how he said that line. You're a pretty girl, You get hit on all the time, I'm sure. He goes, don't rush me, okay? Listen. And this is actually the point where you can see that his whole body language changes, his whole demeanor changes. He kicks back, relaxes, right? He knows that it's on now, right? He knows that she's into him, so he can just kind of kick back, relax. The line has been said, right? Hey, I like you, the name of the video. And here's the thing you guys got to understand is prank videos are completely different, right? When you're filming a prank video, I know from personal experience, it's like shock value, right? You want to say the most ridiculous things. You want to say, the line that you had intended to say, and you also want to, get people thinking like, how did he pull that off, right? Oh my God, if he said this, and he actually got the number, I can do it too, right? Like, you kind of almost up the ante, right, for how ridiculous you can get. But look at that. He kicks back just like that. He knows he's got her in his pocket now. I also like how he stuck around when the friend came, right? A lot of guys would run for the hills the second that the friend came, but, you know, he's sticking around, right? Like, oh, we're soulmates, you know, we look good together, whatever. So he really started to gain his momentum here. This is a direct approach, obviously, right? You know, he's not beating around the bush. He's stating his intent. You know, if you don't like it, whatever. But this is what I'm here for. I like you, right? As the video is called. And that's it, right? Take it or leave it. So, boom! Don't have to worry about, you know, being indirect, beating around the bush. You're there for a reason, and that's the reason. Now, let's get into the negatives. So, right out of the gate, I can tell that he's a little nervous.
That's a pretty name. My name's Juan.
He's kind of stuttering and stammering at first. So he walks up, and it sounds like he's reading off his script, right? He probably saw that girl sitting on the bench, or the, you know, is it a bench? Yeah. So he saw her sitting on the bench, and he's probably thinking, okay, what can I say? What can I say? All right, do you mind if I come and sit next to you? Right? He's probably planning this all out in his head. I realize it's a prank video, guys. I realize that that's the title of the video, but it's setting the wrong frame right out of the gate, right? By walking up to a girl who you've never met before and saying, hey, I like you, right? Like, the girl hasn't earned that. If it was an actual infield of a guy like trying to coach a student, a better line to have been used, or a better line that he could have used, would have been to go up and say, hey, excuse me, hi, I really like your style, and I wanted to see if I like you. You know, I wanted to see if there was more than meets the eye, right? Something to that effect. So then right out of the gate, she's already then qualifying to you, like, oh, well, thank you, but what do you mean, right? Like, I have a personality too, right? I got a great personality. No, I think you'd like me, right? Like, the problem with saying, hey, I like you, is it's giving her too much power.
So, are you asking me for something, or are you just telling me that?
No.
Yeah, like, she's even confused, right? She goes, so, are you asking me for something? Or, you know, like, what's going on here? So when he goes, do you want to hang out sometime? And then she goes, depends on when. And then he goes, whenever you're free, right? That's making himself too available, right? I don't like to do this when I interact with girls. I want to set the precedent. You know, I'll tell her, well, I'm free Wednesday and Friday this week. What day works for you? Right? I don't want to, because when you say, oh, when are you free? Right? It's coming off as if, okay, you're willing to put whatever you have on hold during the week to go hang out with her. Right? Or it's coming across like you don't have a life, like you're not busy, which you guys should be busy. Right? Or at least you should be coming off as if you are, even if you aren't right now. So at the end of the day, this approach worked. He still got the number, right? You know, tall, good-looking guy, right? Tan, could put on a little more muscle, but I mean, she was into him from the get-go, right? So he had a lot more room to fuck up, right? She was giving him those anime eyes. But at the end of the day, the confidence was there. One of the biggest flaws or mistakes with this approach was that he was trying to close too early, right? She even said it here. She's like, don't push me, right? Don't rush me.
He's like, don't rush me. Number.
He's like, okay, let me get your number and get out of here, right? When they've only been, you know, they've only spoken for like a minute. Some guys, they try to close too early, right? Don't try to close too early, you know? You want to at least build some rapport first before you get the number and leave on a high note. If you were to go buy a car and the car salesman was like, hey, well, you see the car. How are you going to pay? Right? It's like, whoa, okay, hold on. Like, you know, it's too much too quick. Okay, so let's move on to How to Beast.
Excuse me. I know this is completely random, but what were you for Halloween yesterday?
I was Kim Possible.
Kim Possible?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Did you do any other costumes this year or not?
Well, it's a really simple costume. It's just like a green shirt and jeans. So, like,
Okay.
I
You didn't put like super much effort into it?
No, I literally have the clothes
Damn,
already.
I got you.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be honest with you. I stopped you because I thought you were super cute, and I was like,
Oh.
I couldn't think of what to ask you, so I was like, Halloween. How's your day going?
Good, I guess.
Nice. What's your name, by the way? Here, I'll give you left.
Okay.
Carissa?
Yeah.
David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, I got nothing else to say right now. But, how about this? Would you want to hang out sometime?
Do you go here?
I graduated a couple years ago.
Okay.
And you?
I'm a sophomore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You like it so far?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. All right, how about this? Give me your number. I'll send you a text and we'll see what we can make happen. Fair enough?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Go.
All right, 510.
Okay, so let's start with the pros, okay? Number one was he was very socially aware, right? Yes, it was, the line was whatever, but the fact that he acknowledged that it was completely random was good, right? Because a lot of times girls will often label guys as being creepy when they're just not socially calibrated, right? Like if you were to go up to her and say, hey, what was your costume last night for Halloween? Or if she were to talk to or she was having a conversation with another girl and he were to go up and say, hey, what did you dress as for Halloween yesterday? Right? She might be like, that was a little random, right? But that could either work or not work. But the fact that he acknowledged it first was good, right? He's not coming off as creepy here. His body language was really good, right? His tonality, the way that he speaks, he's speaking slowly, right? He's taking time with what he's saying. He's not rushing into it, talking really fast because he's nervous, right? His tonality is really good. He was maintaining eye contact the whole time, right? He wasn't, looking around, shifty, right? And he approached her at a good distance too, right? He didn't approach her from too far away. He wasn't too close and invasive, but, he stopped her and it was at a good appropriate distance. And he was direct, right? He said, hey, just to be honest, I thought you were cute, right? Which was a little unnecessary, but I'll get to why when I start talking about the negatives. And he told her, hey, let me get your number. He didn't ask for her number. The biggest overall, problem with this interaction, and it's not really a problem because he ended up getting the number in the end, right? And I'll speculate on why she ended up giving him the number at the end. But the biggest sticking point or the biggest downfall of this conversation, I guess would be a good way to put it, was that it just didn't really have a structure, right? How to Beast didn't really guide the conversation anywhere. He was kind of, flip-flopping around and, he just didn't really seem like he knew where to lead the conversation, right? Because he starts off by asking her, okay, what was your Halloween costume yesterday for Halloween, right? Which is fine. I would have stuck on that a little more, right? He ended up changing from asking her that, and then he didn't know what Kim Possible was. Okay, whatever. But then he goes, so I thought you were cute, so I had to come up and approach you. And then he goes into a job interview question. He's like, how was your day? And then he tries to close. And it was just all over the place, right? It was a little sloppy. So what I would have done is I would have asked her, okay, using that line, right? I would have said, or let's say I said, so what were you for Halloween yesterday, right? And she goes, Kim Possible. I'd look at her like this. I'd be like, you just had to be different, didn't you? With a playful little smile on my face. And she'd be like, what do you mean, right? And then I would have said, well, how come you didn't dress as, Margot Robbie like every other girl, right? Because I remember I was working security 2016 when that movie came out. There was 15 Margot Robbies. The point is that, get her to open up about why she chose that costume, right? There's got to be some kind of story or there's got to be some kind of thought that went into that, right? If it's completely different than what the trend is that year, right? So I would have said that. She would have said something like, oh, well, I grew up with Kim Possible. It was one of my favorite shows growing up, right? Whatever the case is, you're bringing out that personal nostalgia, right? She's getting to experience those positive emotions when she's with you. And fellas, remember, women are a lot more emotion driven, right? They're a lot more emotion based as opposed to logistics, right? So don't have a fact exchange. I do this, you do that. Oh, cool. I do this, you do that. Don't talk to her like a male acquaintance. Another thing too was he rushed the close, right? Just like our friend That Was Epic. And a lot of guys do this. They want to get in and get out as fast as possible, right? Where it's like, sure, you can get the number. A lot of times girls will give their number away, but it doesn't mean they're going to be very responsive, right? The way that I look at it is you want to do as much work as possible in person so you have as least work to do by text, right? So the conversation was flip-flopping all over the place, and then he's thinking, okay, I'm going to abandon ship, grab the number, and dash, right? She actually gave him a layup here, right? She could have easily said, no, I'm okay, I have a boyfriend, made up some excuse, right? But she actually gave him some playing room, right? She's like, oh, I think what did she say?
Do you go here?
He gives a, generic interview response, and then, there was some weird back and forth there, and then he just kind of paused and froze up, right? Which is fine. She tossed him the ball. And then, that's her way of saying, well, I don't really know you well enough yet, right? There hasn't been enough comfort or rapport built. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to be able to get my number, to get to know you more before I give my number away. Because at this point, he's just a complete stranger, right? There hasn't really been any attraction built or any flirtiness there, right? It's been kind of all over the place, right? So she gave him that chance. She was obviously interested in him, or else she wouldn't have stuck around. But hey, at the end of the day, he got the number, right? Actually, just looking at it right now, I would have commented on the fact that she was carrying a Whole Foods bag, right? And then I would have anchored the clothes around that. So if I noticed that she was carrying the Whole Foods bag, which that would have been the first thing I went to, right? I probably would have opened her like this. I would have gone up to her and said, oh, look at you. Okay, Whole Foods. Now, just between me and you, are you trying to make up for last night? Did you go trick-or-treating? And I would have made a joke about that. Did you end up going out, getting up to anything crazy? You're trying to eat some organic bananas so you don't feel so bad about what you did yesterday, right? And then as I were to close, I would have said, hey, listen, I got to get going. I got to go meet up with a friend, but let me grab your number and we'll go grab Booster Juice sometime this week, right? Or kombucha, something healthy to go with that, right? To go with the Whole Foods. So in conclusion, they both got the results. They both got the number. That Was Epic started off a little shaky and gained his momentum towards the end, whereas How to Beast went in guns a-blazing, so to speak, I get, with his tonality and body language anyways. And then towards the end, he got a little shaky, right? So it's interesting. They both went different routes. One started off strong, the other didn't as much, and then, gained some momentum, right? But I'm going to have to give this one to That Was Epic. And the reason why is because that conversation had a little more structure, I guess, would be the right word to describe it, right? Whereas How to Beast, this one, was kind of all over the place, right? And then a sloppy close at the end, right? And the fact that That Was Epic carried on the conversation with the girl when her friend came in, right? Where a lot of guys would abandon ship, I'm going to have to give him extra points for that. So, the winner of this round is That Was Epic. And guys, if you want to see more videos like this, comment below where I'll break down more pickups and interactions in person, okay? And don't forget to subscribe to improve your dating life.